Hi, Daniel with Z-Man here, and I want to tell you about a new bait, inshore saltwater bait that we're really excited about. It's a crab bait, the new Kicker Crab. The way this bait came about is it's something that's been kicking around in my head for the last 5 or 6 years, and I was talking with C.A. Richardson from Flats class, and he was fishing our goat, which is a little twin tail bait, and fishing it back in some ponds for redfish, and when he was reeling it real slow, kind of rolling it along the top, it was just getting hammered, and he said, Daniel, this thing looks just like a little crab swimming on the top with a trailing claw. And that's kind of the idea that I had in my head is, you know, crabs, they spend a lot of time on their bottom, scooting along the bottom, but they also swim throughout the water column. A lot of times you'll see them swimming on the top or in mid depths or kind of swimming up off the bottom and settling back down. And when they're swimming along sideways, you always see that big trailing claw kicking around. And that's how we designed this Kicker Crabs. So after CA kind of planted that seed, I got in touch with my friend Patrick with Blocks Design. Great designer, good at doing really organic shapes, natural shapes. This was a bait that we wanted to combine with a really natural and lifelike profile, but also have some really good action. So what we did with Patrick is he put together several different concepts, all of them similar in that they have that really realistic kind of crab profile with the eyes, the legs, that body shape that inshore fish just seem to love, but they've got this kicker claw, and it's kind of like a paddle tail crab. And the reason why this is such a great bait is, like I said, it's very angler friendly. It's not a one-dimensional bait. You can fish it a lot of ways. But the great thing about this bait is so many inshore game fish just really love to eat crabs. This was designed with redfish in mind. You know, redfish have those big crushers in the back of their throat, and when they see this kind of crab-like profile, they just thump it and send it right back to those crushers. What's been really surprising during testing of this bait is how many different species this bait will catch. Up here in South Carolina so far, we've caught not just redfish, but we've caught sea trout, we've caught flounder on it. You know, down in Florida, it's already caught snook and cobia. It's going to be a big player for tarpon when crabs are flushing out of the passes. Because it's kind of got that sideways crab profile, it's more aerodynamic than other crab imitations. It casts better. It sinks very slow because of the buoyant ElaZtech material combined with that broad profile. And it's got some good tail action. Once you barely even turn the handle and that kicker claw starts going. You know, there's a lot of different ways to rig this bait, and that's what makes it so versatile. Right here, I've got it rigged on a chin locks hook, and this is a great presentation for either really shallow water where you want a really slow sink. When it sinks, the crab almost spirals and that claw kicks, or you can roll it real slow and it'll come right up to the surface just like a crab swimming below the surface. For more of a bottom presentation, I like using our snake locks hook, which it's an articulated head, a bullet-shaped weight on the front, and you can still rig it weedless, but that's great for fishing along the bottom, hopping it along the bottom, dragging it real slow, or swimming it through the grass. You know, I've even started fishing this thing a lot like somebody would fish a gold spoon for redfish, where you're just winding it, getting that claw going. It's got a little body wobble to it, and it looks just like a crab swimming through the water. This bait works great rigged on a jighead as well. This is right here on our headlocks jighead, so you can fish it with an exposed hook where you're hopping it on the bottom, just like you would a paddle tail swim bait. I've had a lot of people tell me over the years that a paddle tail swim bait actually does a good job of mimicking a crab, because when you're hopping it on the bottom, each time it hits the bottom, there's a little puff of mud comes up, and that paddle tail looks like the claw from a crab. Well, this has the profile exactly like a crab, so it's just a dead ringer for it. So it's a really versatile bait, a lot of great ways to fish it. Of course, it's made from 10 times tough ElaZtech, so one bait's gonna last you a really long time, and it's got that buoyancy, so when you stop it on the bottom, that claw is gonna float up. It looks just like a crab in a naturally defensive posture. Give it a shot, not just for redfish, but it's a great multi-species bait, so check out our new Kicker Crabs at zmanfishing.com.